Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. We have a lot of stuff to get to today, along with some very strange things, and that's what we're going to talk about first. What's the best way for me to explain this? There have been news reports that have come out of Australia, and I've gotten multiple emails about this, where apparently an entire family has gone insane, and I mean that literally. So these news reports have come out about this family. It's called the Tromp family. That's T-R-O-M-P family. And this is a normal, healthy, successful family. Just your normal, happy family. And authorities went to their home and discovered that their house was empty. It was unlocked. This beautiful home of theirs, I guess it's on a farm, and they found the house empty and unlocked. And it would appear that the family, all 5 family members, the husband, the wife, and their 3 adult children, 2 sisters and a brother, had all picked up, got in the car, and fled. So not only did they leave their house unlocked and just picked up and left, but the police stated that they also left all of their identification, all of their phones, and all of their credit cards. So they didn't take any of that stuff either. And that's where the strangeness begins. So what we know so far is that some way, somehow, a wave of paranoia, delusions, and basically craziness hit this entire family at the same time. Now, this is Mark and Jacoba Tromp that you're seeing here. This is the husband and the wife. The husband is still missing at this very moment. So what we know is that they got in their car and began a 100-plus kilometer journey to the state of New South Wales, hundreds of kilometers away from their home in Melbourne, Australia. Now, once they reached New South Wales, the father jumped out of the car and fled. And apparently he believed that someone was out to kill him and his family, although police have stated that his family was not in any danger at all. They had no reason to be. So the father has jumped out of the car, fled, and he has been missing for 5 days. They have held search parties for 5 days, and they still have not found him. So sometime later, after he disappeared, they found his wife, Jacoba, wandering in the middle of the street, dazed, confused, not knowing where or who she was. She is now in a mental hospital. Then, about 100 kilometers away from where the mother was found, a complete stranger found their youngest daughter, Rihanna, in the back of his car, hiding in this stranger's car, completely catatonic. She is also now in a mental hospital. They then found her other sister, Ella, who had apparently stolen a car and driven back across country, along with their brother, Mark, who apparently is also showing signs of paranoia and schizophrenia, although not to the point where they have had him committed to a mental institution. So just to recap here, normal, happy, healthy, successful family all go insane. How does that happen? How do 5 members of a family, a husband, a wife, 2 daughters, and a brother, begin sharing the same schizophrenic, paranoia-filled delusions all on the same day, all at the same time? Who all of a sudden decide to leave their home along with their cell phones, their credit cards, their IDs, get in the car, drive for hundreds of miles before the family members start splitting up, jumping out of the car, running, hiding. I mean, we have the father that's still missing, and just what the hell is going on? How does this happen? Medical professionals have no idea what's going on. The police have no idea what's going on. What could make a family go insane like this? Schizophrenia is not some common cold that can just suddenly be given to an entire family. Family that's both related and unrelated. Family that's normal, happy, and healthy. Never had an incident like this before. And so it's just very, very strange. You guys can check out the news reports. I will put the links down in the video description. There's been a lot of strange stuff happening in Australia. We've had a lot of sighting videos, a lot of strange sounds, strange weather. And when stuff like this happens, it really makes you wonder what is going on. What happened to this family to make them pick up and go on the run. Not only that, but to make them go crazy, to make them act like this. I mean, one family member being found catatonic in a stranger's car, another one thinking that people were out to kill him. He's still missing. The wife found wandering in traffic, confused. I mean, what is going on? So, my heart goes out to this family, but really, really weird. Let me know what you guys think. Now, on to some other news. On to some other news, and we'll kind of lighten the mood here a little bit. We have some new images here of Jupiter's North Pole taken by NASA's Juno spacecraft, this probe that they've sent out there that's been encircling Jupiter, taking some amazing photos. And these are the first photographs that have ever been seen of Jupiter's North Pole, as you're seeing here. And these are some really amazing shots. We've never seen Jupiter's North Pole before. A scientist for the mission said that this first glimpse of its North Pole looks nothing like we have seen or imagined before. The photographs were taken at about 48,000 miles from the surface clouds of Jupiter's North Pole. And as you're looking at these images, you can see these beautiful storms and weather systems swirling around the North Pole of this massive planet, our largest planet in the solar system. And it's really nothing like we've ever seen before. Scientists have gone on to state that there is no sign of latitudinal bands or zone and belts that we're used to seeing when looking at Jupiter. So this image is hardly recognizable as the Jupiter we know and have always seen. We're seeing signs that the clouds have shadows, possibly indicating that the clouds are at a higher altitude than other features. Now, if you remember, Saturn has this massive hexagonal storm swirling at its North Pole, seen in this image here. But Jupiter does not have such a vortex, not that we can see. There's nothing on Jupiter that resembles at all what we've seen on Saturn. So this is just an extremely unique shot, and we're going to be getting much closer. At its closest approach, the Juno spacecraft will be hitting just 2,600 miles above the cloud tops of Jupiter. And I can only imagine what the photographs will be like then. Just simply amazing. Now, this isn't the only photograph we've taken. On August 27th, the Juno probe had the opportunity to take an up-close shot and take detailed measurements of Jupiter's north and south poles in infrared light, showing these beautiful auroras, like the ones we have here on Earth, swirling around the poles of Jupiter. And that's what you're seeing in this awesome, almost scary, almost demonic image here of the aurora of Jupiter's southern lights. And as you look at this image, you realize just how large and enormous this planet is. I mean, this aurora here is multiple times the size of our own planet. And it's just beautiful. And the closest photos we've ever gotten of the poles around Jupiter. So awesome stuff. Now, while we're on the subject, researchers working in collaboration with NASA are developing a Star Trek-style tractor beam that will actually be able to pull in pieces of space rock that are floating out in space, just like your tractor beam that you've seen on Earth. And this tractor beam light system that they're going to be using to capture these objects, again, using just light and light only, are able at this point only to move objects about a centimeter. And when this thing is developed, it's going to be able to capture, hold, push, and pull objects using beams of light over distances of miles. So this thing's going to be really awesome in terms of catching asteroids, comets, and other things in space and kind of pulling them to the spaceship. You know what I mean? It's going to be pretty cool. And on the space travel front, scientists are also developing a propulsion technology that will be, believe it or not, faster than light. And the research has actually just passed peer review. So UK scientists, including Roger Shawyer, have pioneered this new generation of space travel tech. And so he proposed this theory in 1999 of creating such a technology. And apparently it's been a rough ride. trying to get this out. With people have called him a fraud, people have attacked his research, but his research was entirely funded by the United Kingdom's government. So there was something to it, and there is something to it, because his research paper on this second generation drive will be published soon, as it has just been accepted by the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. And it will be published in their Journal of Propulsion and Power, which is a society dedicated to space inventions. Now, they're calling this thing the M drive, or EM drive, whereby they'll use electricity, which is converted into microwaves and fired into a cone-shaped vacuum, which as a result, the microwave molecules cause the creation of a force which results in thrust. And apparently this thing will be able to reach almost, if not more, than the speed of light. So, I mean, fingers crossed. But I have no doubt at some point in the future we will develop the technology, if we haven't already. There's a part of me that really believes that we've already visited the stars, and, it's just technology that we know nothing about and we haven't been told about. But interesting nonetheless. Now, lastly, I want to show you some very interesting finds on both the planet Mars and Venus. The first of which is this Mars anomaly seen here. Now, this was sent over on Twitter to me by a viewer of what looked like some sort of metallic machinery or just something made of metal found on the Martian surface. Now, you're seeing the image here taken from the Opportunity rover on Mars. And when you look at this, you can already see these objects popping out. They stick out literally like a sore thumb. So, here is the image. Here where I'm circling is where I want you to check out these objects. You can see one of these square-looking objects sticking right up. You can see it very easily. Let's go ahead and zoom into this area. And as you can see, we do have what look like shiny, reflective, metallic objects sitting among the rocks here. First, we have this, again, it almost looks like a round, it looks like a cross between a cylinder and a square-shaped object. It looks like a cylinder, but with very sharp, square edges wrapping around it. And we have some other, what looks like possible debris laying next to it. Once again, very reflective, metallic-looking, unlike the rocks that are very dull and unreflective that are surrounding it. And so the question is this some sort of machinery on the surface? Are these more ruins that we found? Because as we've talked about before, Mars was at one point much like Earth. It was a habitable planet, and we have seen signs that there was at some point a worldwide cataclysm, a war, if you will, that destroyed everything, but we have been finding bits and pieces, relics and ruins of what used to be there. Now, on to planet Venus, which is a planet we seldom really talk about. Although we have discovered anomalies on the surface of Venus in the past, we've been sent over some new images that look to show what look like installations of some sort. You're seeing the image here, taken from the Venus Global Mapping application. And if you look closely, and this was pointed out to me, we sort of see what looks like a long installation or platform that's stretching across the surface here that definitely has some sort of square right angles to it, like you would see from buildings, like if you're looking at an installation, a military installation or base from an airplane, where you get these sort of long landing strips, long buildings. And here is the installation circled, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And if you look, you can almost see what looks like a square foundation here. And, the source who sent it in said that this does not look natural. This looks like an artificial built installation of some sort. It looks very much sort of like an airport, if you've ever seen those, where it has these long corridors. And, you guys can check it out. And there's just a lot of weird stuff on Venus. We have found strange rectangular structures on Venus in the past, as you're seeing here. These sort of large rectangular objects seen on the inside of these craters. Some of them are in an H shape, sort of look like a helicopter landing pad, but they're definitely three-dimensional, as you're seeing in this image here. I think there's a lot of strange stuff about Venus, and I think that there's sort of been a media blackout regarding it, because we rarely hear the space agencies talk about Venus. So why could that be? Is it because Venus is maybe where all the action's at? definitely makes you think, so check it out. Lastly, I wanted to show you a very strange finding today of what turned out to be a jumbo jet sitting at the bottom of Lake Harriet in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So this is on Google Earth, and you can actually visit the link in the video description and do this right in your browser. And when you approach this lake, as you're seeing here, you start to begin to see this outline of a plane right dead center in the middle of the lake. And once you get up to it, you find that it indeed is a plane, and it looks like it's sunk to the bottom of this lake here. Now, apparently, this caused such a stir that officials who were in charge of the lake, as well as the local airlines, actually went and checked this out. And Google responded and said that this was likely just a glitch. It appears that a plane was passing over the lake when Google snapped the satellite image of it. Hence, we have the plane here. I mean, that's completely understandable. We've seen plenty of planes captured on Google Earth before. You're seeing some of those images here. We have captured prop planes, we've captured commercial airliners, we've captured cruise missiles passing by, we've captured planes that have been split in half sitting on the runway, and we've even seen planes getting it on. All on Google Earth, but we've never seen a plane sitting at the bottom of a lake before, and obviously that's what happened here. It was a glitch. But what's strange about this is that the plane, it actually looks to be underwater. It's not like any of these other images where you can see the plane flying above the water. You can see the color on the plane, whereas this seems to have been, for some reason, covered over and blended in with the blue water here, and it looks to be setting at the bottom of the lake. So that's what was strange about this. But cool find by one of our viewers, and again, not a shortage of awesome and strange and weird things you can find on Google Earth and Google Maps. So I highly suggest checking it out. If you've got some downtime or you're bored, it's definitely something you can waste some of your time doing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about everything we've shown you today, and especially what you think about this family going crazy in Australia. Just strange times, and like I said, there's never a shortage of strange things happening around the world, which is why this channel is here. If it's strange, we'll find it. Alright, so thanks for watching. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe on your way out, and stick around because I've got a lot more coming. Stay safe, guys.